Okay, so now I'm on the home page for Get Response, and at the time of making this video I've just created a 30-day trial membership for Get Response, and that entitles me to free membership for 30 days and to run an email list of up to 250 people. So this may be a good place for you to start if you're planning to do this for yourself, because for free you get to see what the software is capable of and get to understand how it's used and whether or not you like this particular software. In actual fact, they're all very, very similar. So I'll just come up to the top right here and log in, and it's telling me I'm already logged in because I was testing it earlier. But essentially you just had to offer a name and password. This button here, add contacts, that's if you've got an existing email list and you want to add it to your autoresponder. I'm sure you wouldn't bother doing that just for well, you might for a 30-day trial. And here is where this button here is where we create the form that will go on our landing page on our website. So I'll click on that. And you can see it puts me into the design area, and at the top here is a number of templates that you can choose. So in all there's 181 of them, and they're divided up into most popular, but also into categories. So if we click on this and take a quick look to see what's available, let's have a look at financial services. You might be a financial service provider. They're a bit predictable actually. A stack of money there, a big dollar sign. If you want to be a bit more sober about it, there's a picture of a calculator there, and that could be your opt-in form. One thing I've noticed about all of these templates on Get Response is they're all asking for name and email. So these are fields of information that will go into your autoresponder. To me, I'm a little bit surprised, but they're all like it, so I'm wondering if I'm missing something. I'm surprised that they're asking for name as opposed to first name and last name, because when you send out emails, it's nice to be able to say hi Fred, hi Bob, as opposed to hi Bob Smith, how are you today? It's obviously much more friendly. So when I create a form in a minute, I'll show you how to create a second or two fields for the name. So let's give up on that, and let's say, well, let's have another look at what else might be available. Let's have a look at legal services. Here's a gavel. That would be a good one if you're a judge. Some businessy people having a businessy conversation, and a stack of legal tomes that you might have in your office. You can pretend to people that you read them. So here is the generic plain opt-in form, which you can change to suit yourself if you don't like any of the templates that are on offer. Over here on the left hand side you've got a drop down of all the elements that are available for changing within this form. So let's begin with the body of the form. My website has got a greenish colored header, so let's begin by changing the background of the header. You can use this color picker here to move it around, or if you know what color you want, which I actually do, you can put the hex code in. So for me it's 59AE7E, and that selects the color that I'm using on my website. The next thing you might go for is this headline. Remember, free is always a good word, so let's put a headline of free, capitals for the word free, make it stand out. All capitals is generally not a good idea for clarity, but for the word free we'll do that. Free training videos, and let's make this white colored, because I'm going to put that header, change the color of that header in a minute, in a second. So I'll make that white so you can barely see it at the moment, and we'll also center it. Not sure that I like that. Now let's reduce the size of it so it all fits in a line. So let's go for that side. Yeah, okay, and say apply. Now let's change the color of it. Sorry, change the color of the background, and let's put in my hex code here, which I think I said was 59AE7E. Apply. Now we've got that. Right, let's next go for this button here, so the sign up button, and so we'll edit that and we'll put something inclusive. Let's say join us, you know, the herd mentality, which is a selling point, something they use in advertising. Join us now, and try and spell it right. Join us now. Apply. Let's change the color of the button. To do that, I have to come up to this advanced tab here, and then I get to select the background color of the button. I'm going to use the image slider now. I don't want something as bright green as that, but I want something darker. Yeah, I suppose that will do for now. I say apply. You can change the gradient on that button there, so if you look at the button while I press these gradient buttons here, there we go, but I prefer the dark bit at the bottom, so I'll go for that. So now let's change with respect to your privacy to something that we can see. I've got it highlighted. Now let's change the color to white, because that's an important thing. People worry about the privacy and what's going to happen to their emails, so make sure they can see it. This thing at the bottom, email marketing by get response, I can turn that off. It's the powered by button, so I don't want to be advertising them particularly. So I take that off. Now the next thing, and the most important thing, are these fields here, name and email. And I happen to know that get response, for some reason, well, first of all, let's change the label on name. Let's change that to first name, because we want to pick up both fields. First name, and let's apply that. Now I want to add an extra field, but get response reserve the field called, for some reason, I don't know whether it's just when you've got a trial membership, but they don't like you to have a field called last name. So to get around this, what you have to do, let's put last name, doesn't really matter, 1, okay, and apply that. Oh, and it's saying I'm not finished, so it just wants me to select something in this field here. Enter values, leave that blank. That enter values field there is if you want to give people a choice of values. So like if the field was saying what's your favorite color, you could enter values green, red and blue, and they would only have 3 to choose from, but we leave a blank field and then they can put what they like in there. So there's my field, my new field, my last name field. It's in the wrong place, so I'm just going to grab it and pull it up to where I want it to be, the logical place. And now I can edit that and change it to last name. It's called last name 1 at the moment, so let's change it to last name. Put a colon at the end, and there we have it. Now for my purposes, one of the things that I'm going to think about is I'm going to, over here you've got popular fields. I think one of the popular ones is state, address, city. I'd quite like to know where my sign-ups are coming from, because ideally I'd like them to be in the southeast of England, because I would like them to be people I can do business with, sell websites to. But of course, the more information you request, the more likely you are to get people refusing to give you information. People get edgy the more information you ask for. So that might be something I split test. I might try it both ways, but for now that form is good enough for what I want. Free training videos, first name, last name, email, join us now, and we respect your privacy. That will do. Next thing I've got to do, assuming I'm happy with that, I say save web form, and it's done that, I think. So then I go off to settings. So remember I talked to you in the previous video about confirmed opt-in, so that's the double opt-in is on as a default. I can turn it off, but leave it switched on as a default, the double opt-in. Subscription via Facebook. If somebody is currently logged into Facebook at the time that they come to your website, via your browser, you can give them an option to log into your or supply their information via Facebook. And the idea behind that is they don't have to fill in any forms. They don't have to write their name, address and email, because the more trouble that you put people to, the less likely they are to opt in. And that's why the extra field of what city you're in is not a great idea. And then this is not a full-blown tutorial, but you've got other things here like what you do when they sign up. You can send them to your own your own thank you page on your website, or you can just use the thank you that's built in here. So you can add your own voice apparently, but if not, you can choose one of the pre-recorded voices like this.
Thank you for subscribing to our list. You'll be hearing from us shortly.
That might be appropriate if you're in America, but less so. I mean, we're all used to American voices, but if you're doing a specifically English site, you might want to record your own voice. And that's all we need to look at for that. And then finally, we go to this publish button, and this is what we've been looking for. This code here, because that's all you need. I've moved the mouse over it, and I just need to do a Control-C to copy it, and then a Control-V to put it into the appropriate page on my website. Or presumably, if I right-click, I just say copy from there, and then do a paste. So you get these buttons. I will install my web form. That's what we're going to do, and that's the code. So that's it. That's all I need from get response for now. I've got the code that I'm after. Yeah, that's it. Let's leave this and then move on to putting that code into our web page. Okay, so here I am looking at a WordPress website. It's a straight out of the box WordPress site. Nothing's been done to it. And as you can see, it's set up in a blog configuration. So a blog post would go here normally over that side of the screen, and here is the sidebar where the web designer can place what they call widgets. So in this case, there's a search box, there's a comments box, blog archives, categories, and so on. So we want to put our opt-in on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side here, where it can easily be found by a viewer of this website. So what I do is I go to the dashboard. This is a standard dashboard for a WordPress website. I come over here to where it says appearance, and then I go to widgets, and here we can see the main sidebar. I want a text widget in there. See, at the moment there's a search box, recent posts, recent comments, archives, categories, and meta information, but I want a text box in there, and I want it at the top. So I simply find the text box from the list of widgets over here on the left, and I drag it over into the sidebar, and I want to place it right at the very top. And this is not a very clear screen, but you can see it's offering me the opportunity to put a title over the text box, or just put some text in there. So I'm going to drop that code in there that we took from the Get Response website. I'm going to say save, and now I'm going to review the website. As you can see, there's nothing there. The box hasn't turned up, the opt-in box. But if I refresh this screen, there it is, right at the top where I want it. That is now a working text box, very prominent on the screen. So in the next videos, I'll show you a bit more of the Get Response software and what you can do with it. So I hope this has been useful, at least as an overview, and I'll see you next time.